Ember's-Heart-02, second half. Ian breathed in deep through his nose, relishing the smells of steel, brass, aluminum, charcoal, coke, grease, and a million other materials floating on the warm air. After a moment of gratitude for another morning in his favorite place, he looked around the 20 or so workstations scattered around the stone floor of machine shop number 1, all looking tiny under the arching Hahrax beam roof, 10 heights overhead. Several of the stations were occupied, even first thing in the morning, and Ian took a tour to see what his family's craftsmen were working on. At the first station, Leben Nar Ondin was putting the grips on a custom longsword that showed the faint, wavy pattern of Tavaran steel on the blade. An abundance of etching and decoration indicated that the blade was meant for some noble somewhere, while the sharkskin grip, imported from the Authani in the Western Ocean, indicated that whoever the noble was, he wanted a sword he could keep a good grip on in battle. A stack of similar but plainer longswords nearby, still waiting for furniture, were probably meant for his men-at-arms. At Station 6, Marin Tavaran had one of the Stirling engines from the blast furnace chimneys scattered across the bench in front of her, in a mess of nuts, tubes, wheels, and pistons, as she fitted a new displacer into it. "What happened to the old displacer?" Ian asked. His great-aunt twisted on her stool to look up at him over her shoulder and moved some of her short, gray-shot brown hair back behind one long, pointy ear with a grease-blacked finger. "The stem cracked. Must have been a defect from when it was forged. Don't worry, I'll have the scavenger and blast 2 back up to peak before lunch." Ian nodded and left her to it. At Station 11, Riln Martillik was putting the final polish on a full load of all-weather brass gate hardware for trade with nearby kingdoms. Ian smiled at the rich glow of the 50 or so pieces the gray hair had already finished on his little pneumatic buffing wheel. Riln had been putting the finish on all kinds of hardware since long before Ian had been born, and anything he touched left in perfect working order. "Looks like you've been up for a while, Riln." "Yup," the old man replied without looking away from his buffing. "Don't got enough time left to sleep in like you young folk." Ian chuckled and headed for the next occupied station, but was interrupted by a thunder of blue-feathered wings as Guard Commander Oral Tirret dropped down from the catwalk that ran just under the peak of the roof. "Prince Ian," he said with a smart salute that just touched his tanned brow under his white helmet. "We got a message in from one of the outer villages an hour ago. A Garagran stole a cow from them last night." Ian's day stopped being bright and shiny. "How many?" "No one died, Your Highness." Ian stopped him. "It's Ian, Oral. We're in the shop." "Ian," Oral corrected. "No one died. It only took the one cow and then fled." The good news registered. "Thank Kai," Ian said, and Oral nodded. "No deaths" was a great relief. A Garagran could have easily burned the entire village to the ground. Any idea how large? The description says it was an elder, but the size of the footprints indicates a young one. Not a big one then, and possibly not as experienced. Village folk tended to exaggerate with problem creatures. "Tell my father what you told me. I'll get a tracking party organized and head out within the hour. I'll want Kaim and Trin and a full squad of Tixeries. I'm certain one of the generals can handle it, Your Heen. I can have a message out to General Jobin in a few Kellis. The villages will want to see some Tavaran royalty with a Garagran about. I can always send for reinforcements once I get there." Oral looked like arguing, but finally gave Ian a nod and a salute. "I'll have Kaim and your sister found immediately. There should already be a Tixeri squad assembled in the castle barracks." "Good, I'll head straight there." The commander turned to go. "A Garagran." "Oril." The commander stopped and turned back. "Do tell General Jobin to have his forces ready. If I need them, I'll need all of them." The commander nodded. "Ata, please grant that none of my people die from this."